All right. How's everybody doing? This is your boy Nerdanderthal. We are getting at it right now. Second stream of the night, turning, burning, taking a little sidestep from my job as a game character artist. So, some news came out. I'm pretty sure it's real, so we're gonna continue. It's called Star Wars: The High Republic. Apparently, after the Rise of Skywalker and this whole new trilogy, the Star Wars creators have decided to move the novels into a new direction, which is called the High Republic. And apparently, this is supposed to take place like 200 years before the entire saga that we're familiar with. So this is supposed to be like Jedi in the height of their power, while the Sith are waiting and planning. So it'll be interesting to see. And they have some new enemies. They have some new ideas of what they're trying to get done, which is pretty awesome in my book. But also, it's a new look at the Jedi. They talk a little bit about how these Jedi are more like the Knights of the Round Table, and they have these interesting ideas, more like outlaws in the Wild Wild West, which kind of mirrors what George Lucas did in the original thing. There's a lot of Western influence in Han Solo and a lot of those other portions, and dueling, and sword fighting. So George Lucas took a lot from Japanese, like samurai movies, as well as Western. So it's interesting to see how this stuff is going to move forward. And we're going to read this article real quick, and I'm going to show you the little release trailer. It's like 4 minutes long. It's not too much. I'll talk a little bit through it, but it's basically talking about art and concept and the way and how they want to bring this to us. And if they're bringing all the Star Wars writers in, and they're kind of collaborating on how they want to tell this story, because it's untold timelines. And one of the big things is this is an untold genre in general. Like, we have the Old Republic in terms of novels and in terms of books. And in terms of video games, if you've played Knights of the Old Republic or the MMO, then you know that the games are amazing. The storytelling is amazing. This is the time when the Sith ruled the Empire, so it's a very dark time for Jedi and a time for them to survive, kind of like after Order 66, kind of like the new video game that just came out. It's a really dark time, and there's always a struggle for the Jedi, but this is going to be an interesting take on that, because the Jedi are going to be very extremely powerful at this time, and they're going to be tackling all sorts of different problems, smugglers, and there's going to be threats beyond the Republic realm of the core planets, so they're going to have to take care of that. And there's going to be people patrolling the frontier, so it's a very interesting storytelling. And maybe we might even get some books on the development of the Sith. So 200 years before any of our time, before any of these of this 9 movie series that we have, you're talking about Yoda still alive 200 years prior. Palpatine, I believe, is only like 100 and something years old in the movies, but his master is definitely alive, and his master's master is probably alive. So there's a lot of wiggle room. This can probably go for thousands of years. I mean, it's a very famous saying, like, the Jedi ruled for thousands of years. So it's a very cool and interesting idea that they're going with. But let's do a little bit of reading and see where this can take us. Yeah. All right. So here's the art. We see all the different races all holding their different lightsabers. Looks like we got some more purple ones, so channeling the dark side, because there is no dark challenge, so that's very interesting. For those who don't know, the purple lightsabers is what Mace Windu did, and according to new canon, you turn the lightsaber the color of basically you, instead of getting a crystal that's color. So Mace Windu channeled dark side energy through the pod, is his style of Form 7 lightsaber fighting, and that's why his lightsaber was purple. And each lightsaber has a different meaning, not like the old canon, which was like you got a crystal. That crystal designated, are you Force prevalent, like a green lightsaber like Yoda, or are you like a guardian, or like more of a defender, which is a blue lightsaber, or an actual like Jedi guardian, which is like a yellow lightsaber. But that's all old canon, not new canon. So let's read up. I'm pretty excited. So we're excited to be opening up such a rich, fertile era of our authors to explore, says Lucasfilm's Kathleen Kennedy. We'll get to see the Jedi in their prime. Like I said, this is not something that is normally dived into, so it's kind of cool. I hope they make some games off of this. I heard there's another Star Wars project in development. I'd be really interested to see if they're going to tackle this era, because it's basically untapped in terms of games. Star Wars: The High Republic features the Jedi as we've always wanted to see them, as true guardians of peace and justice. This is hopeful, optimistic time when the Jedi and Galactic Republic are at their height. But of course, into this glorious new era, something wicked this way comes. So the initiative will give young and old readers basically meaningful stories, and they'll learn what scares the Jedi. And during the thing that I'm going to show you, their little video that it actually talks about, that's one of their main focuses, is what scares the Jedi. And that's how they built this enemy. Like, during a time of such prosperity, think of the Roman Empire at its height. What scares them? What can get it? So let's keep going. This was the golden age for Jedi, and also the time of galactic expansion in the Outer Rim. So expect there to be rich tales of exploration, charting out galaxy, meeting new cultures, and discovering what pioneer life in the Outer Rim was like. This is an incredible sandbox for our storytellers to play with, both within the publishing and beyond. Alright, so this is it. I'm going to go ahead and show everyone what's going on here, and we can go ahead and... Ooh, we don't want that. We want to pause this. There we go. Sorry about that. And let's go ahead and check out what they have to say. It's only 4 minutes long, so we're just going to go ahead and watch this thing through. I'll edit out any commercials that happen to hit. But it's a cool little storytelling. They talk about the art. They talk about the where they're going and what they're doing. So I hope everybody enjoys.
We're finding ourselves at a very exciting moment with the Skywalker saga coming to an end. We're at a place of what's next for Star Wars. One of the things we've always done is be able to use our franchise platforms to explore the creative potential in the Star Wars galaxy. And so what if publishing was more of an incubation place and bring in great talent and just let their imaginations roam free? We put together a really unique writer's room where we had diverse voices with very different opinions about Star Wars.
We all love Star Wars, but we're all coming in from very different places.
This has been a very free environment for everybody to just throw things out there.
We've all done lots of storytelling, but this is unique and really special.
The idea that this thing has been simmering for so long.
It's the secret history of the galaxy.
Yep, it goes way back to the beginning of Star Wars.
We gave them essentially a blank slate. What would you like to tell?
For over 1,000 generations, the Jedi Knights were the guardians of peace and justice.
A line that we've been hearing since 1977, and we thought, you know, what does that look like?
It is a golden age where there's much more peace and calm in the galaxy. So we're calling it the High Republic.
The description that we've used for the Jedi of this era is that they are the Jedi Knights of the Round Table.
But Star Wars isn't just about Jedi, and we will tell stories of new smugglers, new scoundrels, new bounty hunters.
The threat and the tension really comes from the Republic's borders, because the Republic does not extend from one side of the galaxy to the other.
It's a bit of a Wild West new frontier. We see a different kind of Jedi that patrols the frontiers and is more of a Texas Ranger.
We're now bringing in concept artists, illustrators, and visualists, the same way that you would when you're making a movie.
We even had Ian McKay come down and just do sketch after sketch for us. When you have the guy who designed the look for Darth Maul sketching Jedi for you, it doesn't get any cooler than this.
The scale of this initiative is really new for us. We're going to have stories for adults and teens and kids.
We're building this out simultaneously across multiple publishers. It gives us the ability to tell vast interconnected stories across multiple years. There will be a core group of heroes that will expand over time. There'll be villains.
Our main villain are the group called the Nile. We kind of like to refer to them as Space Vikings.
Their motto is, you can't take it with you, but we can take it from you. Our story starts with what we're calling the Great Disaster.
It wouldn't be Star Wars without adventure. And there's definitely a series of events that will spin the galaxy into a dangerous new direction, and it'll give the opportunity for heroes to rise up.
The cool thing about this is that there's going to be a story for every Star Wars fan. It's really fun to be able to keep readers on their toes. This era is ripe for storytelling. The eureka moment was the question, what scares the Jedi? And that made us all go, ooh, something wicked this way comes.
Alrighty. So let's go ahead and get that music playing again. There we go. There we go. Let's check that. It should be fine. All right. So like I said earlier, it's pretty exciting. It's pretty cool what's going on. Looks like a very Western theme. They look like, I don't know if you saw some of those designs that they had in that video, but it looked like some Vikings, which are very popular now, made popular by Senua's Sacrifice, made popular by, obviously, God of War, and the Vikings TV show. So Vikings that basically come and they raid, and they're going to have a good backstory. They always do, of why they're doing this and why they're trying to pillage and take new lands and stuff that needs to be theirs. So super exciting. I'm very excited for it. I think it's going to be very interesting. I wonder if these new visitors are force sensitive. They may be. They may not be. They may be force resistant, like the Oolong Bong, which is not canon anymore. But I'm pretty excited for what's happening here. I'm not super sure, but the concepts were really cool. Looked like one guy had like face tattoos like Kratos, which makes me a big fan. I'm a huge Kratos fan. I have his statue over here in the corner. Have all sorts of mythology tattooed on all over me, both Greek, and Norse. All right, let's continue reading. All right, High Republic is listed top tier. The first books are set to debut at Star Wars Celebration in Anaheim in August 2020. So it looks like we got some time to wait until these. But these look like some of the books. Let me go ahead and like zoom out a little bit so we can get a little better view of them. Into the Dork by Claudia Gray. That's a familiar name if anybody reads current Star Wars novels or listens to the audiobooks. A Test of Courage. This is going to be Justina Ireland. All right, so this is going to be, I'm sorry, I didn't read that. A young adult novel is this first one. This is a middle grade novel, so a little bit younger. As you can tell by the art style, we're hitting a little bit different. Adventures of the High Republic is a comic book series, which should be fun. Always got to love new comics. And let's see. Star Wars The High Republic, still Marvel comic. Star Wars The High Republic, Light of the Jedi. All right, and this is an adult novel. So it looks like they're spanning the entire spectrum and trying to bring a little bit of everybody into this. So it looks like we're bringing young kids, kind of like, I can't remember the animated TV show, but there's one with Rey for very, very young kids. And there's Rebels, which hits like your preteen through young teenagers, and then you have like your Clone Wars, which is like your late teenagers, and then you have comics and other things that kind of fill the gap, and like the Thrawn books, which I'm a huge fan of, which kind of span the gap for these more adult type of books with these more adult type of things with people dying and much more like treasonous plots, which is absolutely awesome. So my thought here is when they release these books are not quite as popular in Star Wars Galaxy Heroes, but it's an interesting thought, and I would love to hear y'all's opinion on what is going to happen. Like, if these become popular enough, will they make new TV shows. If they're spanning children, comic books, and adult novels and preteen novels, is there a chance we'll get a spin-off in this in terms of animated adventures? We are in the Rebels season 7, the final season, which is super duper exciting. Super duper exciting. So if we transition a little bit from there and decide, like, since this is the last season of the Clone Wars, I'm sorry, did I call it Rebels earlier? I meant the Clone Wars. Like, that opens up an entire new animated series for us. And are they going to explore this High Republic time frame in animated series or in TV shows? We know we're getting an Obi-Wan Kenobi series, and we obviously have The Mandalorian, which is awesome. If you look at the bottom of my screen down over there, you can see that I have the his signet down there. But I'm kind of excited. I hope they do. If it does hit TV show and more popular mediums, then I believe the High Republic could definitely come to Star Wars Galaxy Heroes. It's a long, long way down, but I believe it could be. Anyways, I'd like to hear what you think. Zeus, the old fat bulldog, and myself would love to hear what you think about the High Republic in general, and if you ever think it'll come to Star Wars Galaxy Heroes. Awesome. This is your boy, Nerd Anderthal. I hope y'all are having a great night. Make sure y'all have a drink for me. Please like, subscribe if you like it. And until next time, cheers. Mm-hmm.